Hopefully they don't recognize you. That's the family disrupt. And as long as that's actually true, because I represented, it's like certain names, or just all of them, in the criminal justice system. Yeah, the Jane, and then they put numbers on it, 1, 2, 3. Literally, my parents. And the birth certificate names are. It'd be funny if all you guys sat at the table by yourself. We're just all to the table. Just give them that thought. Astumbo. Yeah.
Hey, Eagle Eye.
Yeah, that's my name for this outreach. Austin the First.
Oh, I should change your title then.
We'll do the survey. How many of you got a C over?
All right. I have like those name things that's gonna appear in the bottom. I'm just gonna put yours as Eagle Eye. Okay.
You can do it in real time, but if not, it's okay.
No, I already changed it, so I just have to press.
Sir. So. Okay.
D, that was his name. Maybe related. He's not that many otherwise. Actually, he's a nurse. So they're probably related. One's a dentist. He was a class of Yes, that's the word. The mandatory reporting. So Guam's mandatory reporting. We did a whole argument.
It's not white enough.
This is my first one.
So I guess I get my
Super smart. Oh my god, I look so devious.
You're like the kid that doesn't sing but that can eat the Robinsons. That would be the bad guy.
Okay, now with the
The
guy
villain.
with the glasses.
Alana, were we able to meet up with the Chief Justice's assistant on email or anything? Did Gabby mention what's her procedure?
Nigel, who's your teacher?
You know, we'll put it on things to do for Monday.
Over here. I like it.
I don't know.
Can we have the location also?
All right, welcome my eighth graders right here. Or Nigel, go all the way to the end. Thank you. All the way to the end, please. Come on in. Come this way, gentlemen. Over here. All the way down. Come. Guys, move all the way down. Darren, move down. Thank you, Sam. Right there, Jillian. Have a seat. Hi, Heather. Come on in. Come down this way. Don't walk around the camera. All right, come on this way. Over here. Over here. We know the drill. Come on over. Fill my tables, please. Over there, and then we're gonna fill up this table. Go ahead, Marie. All the way. All the way. Keep going. Fill my table. Right here. Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat. Come on this way. Ethan, right here. Teachers, please help me. All right, teachers, please assist. Have a seat. Fill my tables. Good afternoon. Have a seat. Teachers, please assist. Fill our tables. Right there. Have a seat. Make some space. Please be careful. We have a camera. Don't hit it. Come on in. Right here. Sit right here. Fill this table. I'll go right upstairs. Sit down. I know about it. All right, come on in. All right. I hope everyone is seated. All right, dragons. Let's get it quiet. 3, 2, 1. I'm here. All right. Welcome, everyone. Let's give these people a very warm welcome. We have our AG's office and their staff here to talk to you today. Give them a round of applause. Before I turn it over, oh, we got another box. Welcome. Come on over. It's an eagle. Have a seat, Aries. Come on in. Have a seat. All right. All right, are we here? Everyone is here. Where's Combo? Mr. Tenoso. Mr. Tenoso's class is here. Mr. Flores. Mr. Flores' class. Okay. All right. Again, welcome to the students who are just joining us. I need it quiet. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Let's pay attention, okay? All right, so I want to welcome the AG's office and thank them for being here today. They're going to be talking to us about some very important topics that are relevant to you. I want you to be on your best behavior. If you have questions, please raise your hand. Do not yell at them. Okay, let's be respectful and show them what it means to be a dragon. All right? Okay, and I also want to encourage you to participate. So if you have those questions, you ask those questions. Comments should not be inappropriate ones. Gentlemen? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Delos Reyes. And off today, and good afternoon, dragons. All right, so see my little get up. Anybody have seen or heard of the Panbusters?
Yes!
All right, well, we got the Panbusters all across the room, joined with Eric the Eagle. We'll have the Attorney General talk a little bit more about that in his introduction. But good afternoon to everyone for joining us today. We are from the Office of the Attorney General of Guam. Anybody familiar? Raise your hands. Anybody familiar with what the Attorney General does or heard of our office? Okay, not a lot of hands. It's good. It's a learning opportunity. We're all here to learn. So again, we're from the Attorney General's office. My call sign is Eagle Eye. I am one of the Panbusters that you probably would have seen out in the streets, and we are here to talk about several topics that are very relevant to you. We're going to talk about teen pregnancy and child support. We're going to talk about what mandatory reporting is, and of course cover the very relevant topic of substance abuse. But let's get everyone's bloods running. Are you all 8th graders?
Yeah!
All right. And you guys still have 3 teams, right? Or are you guys much smaller group now? 2 teams. Oh, okay. Well, just for a fact, I went to EMS, so. Oh yes, but I'm with Eric the Eagle now. So it's nice to meet with you all in the Dragons. But again, let's get our bloods running. I want everyone to go ahead and raise your left hand up high. Left hand. Hey, look at your
Left hand.
shoulders. Is that our left? You don't go to the left? Up high. You good up high. Left hand up high. All right. Raise your right hand with your left hand. So both hands up high. All right. Give yourself a round of applause. All right. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass on the mic to the Attorney General of Guam, Douglas B. Wyman. Let's give him a round of applause.
Romulan. I am the Attorney General that you guys, your parents, elected into office in 2022, 2 years ago, okay? What Austin was mentioning to you, what Eagle Eye was mentioning to you, is that the Attorney General's office is the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of Guam. For those of you that may not understand government too well, it's like the police force. When you guys see the police officers out there, the police officers work with the Attorney General's office in order to enforce our laws, right? They can't just go up to you and tell you to do things. They have to follow what's in the Constitution, Organic Act of Guam, and then all the laws that your parents elected senators to pass, okay? So that's the job that I hold as an attorney. Does anybody know what an attorney is? A lawyer? Anybody else? Does anybody? Yes? A judge is, my next question would be, judges are attorneys on Guam in most jurisdictions, so before a judge can become a judge, they first have to become an attorney. And to become an attorney, we got to do everything that you guys are doing here today, getting an education. You can't become an attorney unless you first go through the middle school, high school, college, and then go to law school. And law school, does anybody know how long law school takes? Years, but how many years?
20 years.
I heard the answer 3. So 3 years to become an attorney, and if you run for the office, most states have attorneys general. They also have district attorneys, but attorneys general for the most part, and they're elected. Most every state of the 50 states and the 4 territories are all elected. Guam is one of the territories. You guys know that, obviously, right? So, in the federal system, do you know what the President of the United States, does the President of the United States have an elected Attorney General or an appointed Attorney General? Appointed. See, one of the last, that's how the model before was that it was an appointed Attorney General. Most states, the governor would appoint the Attorney General, but then everybody decided that it would help the people more if you guys elected your Attorney General. It's considered the Chief Law Enforcement Officer, the top cop, the Chief Legal Officer, both civil and criminal. So at one day you guys may be making your decisions on what you want to do. Hopefully you go to college, and then after college, if you wanted to become a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, things like that. So that's what I represent. I'm your servant. I have to do what your parents, what you guys tell me to do, and it's to enforce our laws, to protect you. That's ultimately what the Attorney General's job is, to enforce the laws that protect you, that make you guys have a nice school, air conditioned, power. Having all the laws enforced creates the type of nice environment that you guys are enjoying today. So again, I want to thank Ms. De Los Reyes, Mr. Malile, all the teachers and professors here for allowing us to come and speak to you today. We have some giveaways that our team will be giving to you in this upcoming hour. So thank you.
As the Attorney General did mention, we do have some giveaways, so it's very important that you guys are all paying attention, listening to the presentations. We have a team of attorneys from our office who are set to go up and speak on this, but can anyone kind of look at the spot where Eric the Eagle is? Where is he at? He's over there, right? So Eric the Eagle is over there, and he will be handing you your prize if you're able to answer our giveaway questions after each of the presentations that are going to go up. So very important, if you guys are all paying attention, listening in on the facts, and taking away something so you can answer the questions. All right, and without further ado, let's go ahead. We're going to jump in our first presentation. We have Attorney Pablo Lupa from our Child Support Enforcement Division, who is here to speak on the topic of teen pregnancy and child support. Let's give Attorney Lupa a round.
Hello, everyone. Thank you first for the Attorney General giving a very quick lesson on government and civics, which you're probably having now and probably in high school. Well, thank you for welcoming us to the house, home of the dragons. We're glad to be here, and we're glad you're here. We just hope that during this talks that you'll be attentive and you find our talk to be informative and helpful. Okay. I'm going to be talking with you about the topic of teen pregnancy and child support, and that's a big topic, right? Teen pregnancy is really big. We can have a long conversation about it, but I only have a few minutes to talk about it, so I'll try to keep everything in a nutshell, okay? Now, how's teen pregnancy and child support related? Very, very, very simple. If you have a child, you get pregnant, you have a child, you obviously, at your age, you're very still much dependent on your own parents, and so you're going to need some help, right? And that would be child support. You need some financial assistance. I just want to remind the students here that you have to think about this. This is an important precept that you have to learn is that every decision that you make, is an important decision. It shapes your life, it impacts the present and future. And when we talk about the future, we're talking about your dreams, your aspirations, and the plans that you have. So it's very important that you think about the decisions that you make. These decisions can even be life-changing. One of the decisions that you might make, and it's totally unintended, will be that you have sex and you become pregnant. Right? You become sex and that carries with it. Now, this is very important. So keep this in mind. As I said, every decision that you make carries a lot of responsibility and has consequences. Okay? So if this happens, you get pregnant and give birth to a child, you, boy and girl, have a moral and legal obligation. Under the law, you have a legal obligation to provide support for your child. Care for your child, provide and protect the well-being of your child. That's your obligation. So the question is, am I ready for that? And I suggest to you that if this does happen to you, and we hope that this time in your life, that is not a consideration, having sex and having children, that you have to understand, if you have a child, suddenly your whole priority and your main responsibility will shift. You'll be now to raising a child. And you also have this responsibility can be described also as the same responsibility that your parents have to you. You in turn will have the same responsibility for this child. Now, every child is a wonderful creation and it's a blessing. But if you get pregnant and have a child, you have a hard journey ahead of you. I can tell you that. Maybe it's a reality check, okay? You have a very hard journey ahead of you. Why? You're going to be going to school and at the same time raising a child. So I don't want to discourage you to say, well, maybe I'll drop out of school, right? No. We would like you to still raise that child and go to school, okay? Because it's very important. It's important that you finish school for your good, your child's good, and for your future. So, for example, if you don't get a high school degree, if you don't have a high school degree, Governor Guam, you want to get a job in Governor Guam, it requires that you have a high school diploma. So if you want to get a job in Governor Guam, you have to stay in school, get that high school diploma. You're still in middle school, so you have a few more years to get there. But it's something that you have to still look ahead. I just read recently that the United States Army used to not require a high school diploma. Now, last week, they reinstated that anyone who wants to enlist in the U.S. Army has to have a high school diploma. So it's very important, okay? So while you are facing challenges with having and raising a child, that you also stay in school, okay? So the bottom line here, okay, so I'll finish up a little bit about teen pregnancy. The bottom line here is that you basically are still children yourselves, okay? And you're still growing and maturing into adulthood, okay? This is a time of your life when you should be experiencing the richness of life, the school experience, learning new things in your classes, and making friendships. This is a time to do that, not to have children. But I just want to mention also a few statistics I think that's related to teen pregnancy. Okay, in the United States, there are about 13.6 births per 1,000 females between 10 years old and 17 years old. Guam City reviewed that the birth rate is twice that of the United States. In the world, 13% of girls give birth before the age of 18. 15% of births to girls between 15 and 19 was birth to a second child. So some of the females, the girls, were having their second child even before they were 19. Now, I kind of researched the birth rate here in Guam among teens. I ran across two publications. One publication was the Guam Bureau of Statistics and Plan, who suggested that teen pregnancy also involves sometimes sexual violence or neglect. So in the Guam Bureau of Statistics and Plan, in their 2021 statistical yearbook, they reported in 2021, there were 52 cases of teen pregnancy that were reported to the Child Protective Services as neglect cases. And here's an alarming statistic. 234 children were referred to Child Protective Services as sexually abused children. So, so boys, remember this. Okay, if you are 18, you're in high school, you're still going to be 18. Most of you are still 18 when you're in high school. If you have a sex with a minor, even though she's like 17, but the boy's 18, and you force the girl to have sex, you're treated as an adult. You can be charged with criminal sexual conduct and you can go to jail and suffer all the penalties of that. Okay, something also to remember. Okay, there's a study also titled Community Health Assessment. It was primarily conducted by the Department of Public Health and Social Services. Listen to this. It says 10.7% of you were forced to have sex. So boys, you shouldn't be forcing the girls to have sex, okay? 10.7. 15% of the youth were hit by their partner. This is serious stuff. You guys have to learn, maybe learn how to date. One last note in pregnancy. Studies show that persons viewing pornography, are more likely to perpetrate and be victims of violent sexual acts. Okay, and they said that pornography, if you watch pornography, you're more likely to treat the girl as an object, not as a person. Okay, and when you treat someone as an object, you're just using the person. So I suggest to you that because pornography is very addictive, and here's one thing that kind of surprised me, but maybe not. It was reported that 75% of or 7 in 10 children between 10 and 17-year-olds watch pornography. So this is dangerous stuff if you're watching pornography, okay? It changes your whole mindset about how you treat a girl and all that, okay? You can start using the girl. And also one of the effects of watching pornography is you become impulsive. That means you don't think, you don't discern, you don't think about what you're going to do before you do it, okay? Which basically, when it comes to sex, you'll be acting impulsively. So my advice to you is get off the porn. If you're watching it, get off it. If you haven't not watching it, don't even get started on it. So let me. So now the second part of my topic is child support. I just mentioned that if you get pregnant, you're going to need financial assistance. Okay, it's not just financial assistance. You need moral support and everything. But basically, you're going to need some economic assistance, and that's where. Sorry, I don't think I've introduced myself. So I'm an assistant attorney general. I work in the Child Support Enforcement Division, which is basically an agency in itself within the Office of the Attorney General, and it's also a program. And our mission is to help parents who need child support. So let me just say this very briefly. So if a girl has a child and the boy is still a minor, then the girl can apply for child support for our Office Child Support Enforcement Division. Now, you might say, wait a minute, we're both minors, but technically under the law within Child Support Enforcement Division can still go against the minor child to collect child support. Now, because it's a minor, we don't really ask for the what they call the child support amount that's determined under this paper called child support guidelines. So we basically say $50 per month. So you boys, if you get the girl pregnant, you have to pay $50 per month at least. Now, you might say, I can't pay it. Well, what happens under the law is that you accumulate that as a debt, so that when you turn 18 or when you get a job, you have to pay that. And it's at 6% interest, okay? The other thing is, sometimes what will happen is, of course, the boy can't get child support. The boy doesn't have, is still in school, so the girl would apply for welfare. So the girl receives welfare, and the boy is not paying child support. So what happens? The government is paying child support for the boy. So the boy has a responsibility to provide for the child. Child Support Enforcement Division can go in and ask the boy to pay back the child support. In addition to the boy, we can also go against the boy's parents to pay back the welfare payments. What is child support? It's money, but it's not gifts of clothing or anything like that. So if you say, just let me tell you, for a minimum wage, person earning minimum wage, the child support guidelines say you pay $196 per month. Now, because if you provide $100 worth of Pampers for the child, you cannot say, oh, out of the $196, I already paid $100. No, the law doesn't allow these extra non-monetary on the side as child support. So what happens if you don't pay child support? I'll end with this. If you don't pay child support, you'll be ordered to appear in court. And when you're in court, the court will ask you, are you employed? If you're not, the court can order you to go look for a job. We also have a program with the Department of Labor. We have a collaboration with them where they will assist you in finding a job. The worst that can happen is the judge will find you in contempt of court, which means you're disobeying the court's order for not appearing in court or not primarily on not paying the child support if you don't have the ability to pay. But jail is still something that you can consider. Also, your driver's license may be suspended if you don't pay child support. You may not be renewed, and if you're applying for a driver's license for the first time, they won't issue it. If you're working and you have a tax refund, Child Support Enforcement Division will take that refund. You won't get it. So a refund that you're expecting in the mail, you won't get it. The other thing is child support has priority over all the debts. So if you cannot go into court and tell the judge, I'm not paying child support because I'm paying this personal loan. Court will say that's not a legal excuse. You should still have to pay the $196 per month. Lastly, just then child support. Like I said, I'm just speaking, I can give you a nutshell. Lastly, sometimes we have a case where the boy and the girl have fallen apart, and the girl will say no, who has custody of the child will say, no, you can't visit our child. And so what would happen is in the child support proceedings in court, the boy can ask the court for visitation with the child. They're referred to a program in the Office of the Attorney General called the Access and Visitation Program. And then we will try to help them through mediation and probably referrals to other agencies. So that's basically what I have to present on this topic. Thank you for listening.
All right, thank you so much for the and go ahead and just to give a few comments.
You guys do not want to see Pablo Aglavat on the other side of your courtroom if you're dragged into court. Every one of you in this room today, all you minors, you can all get pregnant or cause a girl to get pregnant. So to wrap up what my good attorney has said to you, number one, don't do it. All the boys in this room, keep it in your pants and respect the girls, okay? Guys, you got that natural drive, but you better respect the girls because you're not only going to deal with Pablo, you're going to deal with yours truly, the criminal investigators and the attorneys that are going to take you and put you in jail, DYA, if you hurt a girl. And it's usually the boys that are hurting the girls. Wrap it all up real quick. Respect. If you leave this room today, I want you to learn the word respect. Even we adults, if everybody respected one another, we'd have less crime on Guam, we'd have a better community. Boys, girls, respect one another, respect your bodies, and that's what Mr. Aglabat was basically telling you, and respect yourselves. Thank you.
All right. All right, let's see if everyone's been paying attention. Can anyone see Eric Eagle again? Where is he? Over there? All right, well, he has some goodie prizes for you guys if you are able to answer some of the questions that I'm about to ask from our Just Good presentation on teen pregnancy and child support. So let's see if everyone's paying attention. All right, I'm gonna ask a question. The first person to raise their hand gets to shake hands with Eric and have their very own Eric plushie. All right. So let's go ahead and ask our first question. Pay attention. All right. Raise your hand. And then give me the microphone. Say your name and then give your answer. All right. So we just heard from Attorney Alcobat. How can teen pregnancy, right, going through this process as a minor, affect a teenager's education and future? How can it affect your future if you go through this process? Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and go over here. Take a shot. So go ahead and introduce yourself, say your name, and then answer the question. How can teen pregnancy affect a teenager's education and future?
So my name is Desiree, and it can affect, or their children and you're just too young. And you can't watch the
I'm really engaged, wanting to have to raise your own kid, right? Focus in school, focus on reviewing for your tests, and everything will be all right. So great job, Desiree. Got one more question before we go to our next presentation. So again, make sure you're paying attention. Raise your hand when I ask a question. All right, anyone in this room? I'll go with this side because you got a lot in here. We have more questions, don't worry. What is child support and why is it important for parents? Over there, all right. Right, so go ahead and introduce yourself and answer the question, please. Child support and why do you think it's important for parents? Go ahead and introduce yourself first.
My name is Kamala Pina, and the question that we answered is that for the child support, it helps the parents and also the child, which is the mother, to help out with anything that a mother needs during birth, and also when dealing with the process, and the money really helps the mother more than just the father. It also helps the mother and the parents to really deal with the process.
It's money that one parent pays to help cover the costs of raising a child. It could be the mother that's raising your child, so the father gives the money to the mother, or it could be vice versa. But either way, it's money coming out of someone's pockets. And who here has a job? No one? It's better be no one. I don't think it's legal for you guys to have jobs yet, right? So none of you can pay child support right now, and very likely not in the next 4 or 5 years. So again, the message, right, as the general said, just don't do it. Enjoy your childhood. The next 4 years when you guys enter high school is going to be one of the best years of your life, so enjoy it. And with that, again, make sure you're paying attention because we're going to have more questions along the way. But I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to our next speaker to talk about the topic of abuse against teens and mandatory reporting. I have Attorney Cheryl Dickens from our Family Division. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
So as stated, my name is Cheryl Higgins. I work in the Family Division of the Office of Attorney General. So in the family division, we actually represent child protective services in different situations when children have to be removed from their home because of neglect, abuse, or abandonment. We also represent the government in juvenile delinquency cases. So if a minor commits a crime, we represent the government in putting forth what's going to be in the best interest of the community and bringing in services and different things for the minor who committed a crime. So I want to start by saying we're bringing you a lot of hard topics today, and very serious topics. And so the topic that I'm going to speak on is again a pretty serious topic, and it's also really important. But most of all, what I want you to gather from the discussion is that this is all about safety, and it's about your safety and the safety of those around you. So today I'll be introducing to you sexual abuse and what that means, what to do if you know someone who's been sexually abused, if you need to find them. Also, we'll be talking about mandatory reporting, what that looks like for you and also for the teachers in the room, the adults in your life. In this island community, it can really be hard to speak up because pretty much everyone knows each other, right? But protecting yourself and others is what's going to be more important than staying silent. So there are adults like your teachers, counselors, other professionals who are legally required to step in when someone is in danger. And this is what I mean when I say mandatory reporting. It's not about getting people in trouble, but it's about making sure that no one is staying in a harmful situation. So let's go ahead and get started into all of this. What is sexual abuse? Sexual abuse is any unwanted or forced sexual activity. So this includes inappropriate touching, forcing or pressuring someone into a sexual act, making someone look at sexual images or videos, sharing sexual pictures or messages without permission, or any sexual activity involving a minor. In Guam, the legal age of consent is 16. So anyone under the age of 16, which includes all of you, cannot actually give legal consent. You cannot consent to having sex or being involved in some type of sexual activity. Even if you think you're consenting. So if a minor who's like 13 or 14 or 15 says yes and they consent to sexual activity, especially with an adult, this is not legal. You cannot actually give consent. Who can be affected? Sexual abuse can happen to anyone. Boys, girls, young children, teenagers, even adults. And the abuser can be anyone. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be a teacher, a coach, a stranger. And there are times when the abuser can manipulate or threaten victims to keep them silent. But what do the laws in Guam speak about with sexual abuse? In Guam, it is illegal for an adult to engage in any sexual activity with anyone under the age of 16. Also, sharing or possessing sexual images of minors is illegal, even if the minor took the picture of themselves. And this is actually a big thing. I've seen here at the AG's office in my division, where we've actually had to charge minors with possession of child pornography because they either possessed the sexual images in their phone or they shared them with others, they shared them with their peers, they shared them with people outside of school. So this is something that can actually affect you if you've been involved in possessing sexual images on your phone that's of a child and you've been sharing it with your friends or on social media, if word comes to the AG's office, you can actually be charged with possession. And you may have to spend time at DYA or have to engage in services that help get to the root of the reason as to why you're involving yourself in these types of activities. How can you recognize the signs of sexual abuse? So if someone who is experiencing sexual abuse, they may avoid certain people or places. They may become withdrawn or anxious or depressed. They may have unexplained injuries or discomfort on their body in certain places. They may show changes in their eating or sleeping habits. Or they may start struggling in school suddenly. You know, they could have been a really good student, straight A's or making A's and B's, and then they just start all of a sudden slipping in their grades. That can be a sign. What should you do if you suspect that there is sexual abuse going on, either to you or to someone that you know? The first thing would be to tell a trusted adult. This could be a parent, a teacher, school counselor, any other responsible adult that you know in your life. You would want to go to them. You can also call for help. In Guam, you can go to GPD. You can go to CPS, Child Protective Services, and let them know, file a report. You should also support your friends. If someone comes to you and tells you that they're being abused, you should encourage them to speak up. You can speak up on their behalf, and you should also just make sure that you don't blame them or make them feel like it was their fault. Because with a victim, it's never their fault. Why is it important to speak up? Many victims stay silent because they feel ashamed or they're scared. But abuse, like I said, is never the victim's fault. And so speaking up is going to protect and help them, and it's also going to protect and help others who may become victims to the same person. So what are your takeaways that I want you to just remember moving forward? Sexual abuse is any unwanted sexual act, and it is illegal. Sexual abuse can happen in different ways. It can be online or in person. Anyone can be a victim. Anyone can be an abuser, including your peer. If you suspect abuse, talk to a trusted adult or call for help. And don't keep secrets. Keeping secrets about abuse protects the abuser. So speak up. I'm going to give you just 2 scenarios. I want you guys to participate. Okay? Number 1, Emma is 13 and has a family friend, Uncle Ray, who visits often. Lately, she notices that he hugs her too long and touches her back in a way that makes her feel uncomfortable. One day, he puts his hand on her thigh while she's sitting next to him. She freezes and doesn't know what to do. What should Emma do? Raise your hand if you think that Emma should tell a trusted adult. Raise your hand if you think she should set boundaries and move away from him. Raise your hand if you think she should report it to GPD if she feels unsafe. Good. Good job, all of the above. She should do all of it. One more story. Jake, a 14-year-old student, meets someone online who says that they are 15. They chat every day, and the person starts asking Jake to send pictures of himself without a shirt. At first, Jake feels flattered, but when he says no, the person threatens to share their private conversations with others. So raise your hand if you think Jake should stop talking to the person and block them. What about tell a trusted adult immediately? Okay. Raise your hand if you think you should report the person to authorities or the platform that they plan on. Good job. Again, all the above. Typically, from never send private pictures, even if you're pressured. If in that moment, you get just that one little inkling of, I shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do it, don't do it. Okay, so quickly I'll go over mandatory reporting. When sexual abuse is committed by an adult against a minor, it's also considered child abuse. So certain people, as I stated earlier, are legally required to report any suspected child abuse. Here in Guam, that's your teachers, your counselors, any school staff, doctors, nurses, therapists, police officers, social workers, attorneys. If any of those people, if you feel like you've been abused, you can contact them and let them know, and they're required by law to report it. And while they have to report it, anyone can report abuse. So those people who are not required can also report abuse. And once the abuse is reported, that's when Child Protective Services will get involved and the AG's office will get involved. And that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. For that division. Again, let's make sure everyone was paying attention. I'm just gonna ask 2 questions. Let's go ahead and this side of the room again. Maybe somewhere in the front, just one in the middle. Ask one. Right, and Attorney Lincoln's talking about this. On Guam, what is the legal age of consent? Okay, we're gonna have that up first. My eagle vision said it was over here. So you have more questions. You have more questions, don't worry. I'll go ahead and give you a shot, go ahead and say your name and give us what is the legal age of consent.
My name is Ida Benali, and the legal age of consent on Guam is 16.
Correct, for a round of applause. The legal age of consent is 16. Is anyone in this room already 16? You shouldn't be in this room if you're 16. You should be at Ukuru or JFK or somewhere else. But again, you are not, as of now, and until the next few years, you are not allowed by law to give consent. So something that you guys should keep in mind, especially for the ladies. And one more question, I'm gonna go ahead and ask, hopefully everyone's paying attention. Attorney Megan's talked a little bit about mandatory reporters, basically, right, the adults in your life. One of the biggest tips that she gave, if you come across somebody who was sexually abused or been abused in general, is that the biggest tip you can give them is that they need to seek an adult. They need to report it to an adult. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask one person to stand up and point at a person in this room that you think is a mandatory reporter. This could be a teacher, a counselor, a principal, an attorney, right? All of these people that I just named, they are all mandatory reporters. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you a chance here. Okay, go ahead and say your name and point at the person in this room that you think is a mandatory reporter and why you think they're a mandatory reporter. Again, it's a trusted adult, either be a teacher, a counselor, a principal, you can talk to, especially when the matter is important. They're obligated to help you out and of course seek you. So go ahead and give it a like. Go ahead and point at a person in this room and give them name them and then tell me why are they mandatory reporting.
So my name is Iran Verdon, and one mandatory reporter can be Mrs. Cruz, because she's a trusted adult and she's doesn't have any help whether you want to do something.
Mrs. Cruz is what grade of school?
8th grade social studies teacher.
Even the doctor, when you go to the doctor's office, is a mandatory reporter. So very important. All right, we're just about to approach the last presentation of the day. I do have more questions, so don't worry, you're gonna get your chance. I'm gonna go ahead and pass off the microphone, of course, the Attorney General of Guam Douglas Moynihan to talk about substance abuse pertaining to men and of course minors being charged as well. So let's give them a round of applause.
I want to thank everybody for being so patient. I remember when I was an 8th grader, a lot of what we're talking about here is serious stuff. I see your eyes getting kind of droopy sometimes, so I'll try to make this very interactive now. Does anyone know what substance abuse is? What? You're trying to raise your hand? Yes. Everyone. What is substance abuse? Introduce yourself first, please.
I believe that when someone drugs your food or someone gave you drink, and that makes you feel very weird.
Okay, so he says, Cruz, Del Cruz? He indicates that somebody gives you something or puts something in your drink, so to speak. That is basically what's happening is that somebody gives it to you or you do it to yourself, you take it in and you put it into your body expecting certain results. Do any of you guys take energy drinks? Yeah, energy drinks, Red Bull, stuff like that. First of all, you shouldn't be doing that because that's full of sugar. Sugar is not good for you. It gives you an artificial high that you're not going to be lasting like an apple or an orange sort of thing. Substance abuse deals with taking in things that you're not supposed to, that the Guam legislature says that you're not supposed to take in. That includes alcohol, especially at your age, under 21. You're not supposed to be drinking alcohol. That's illegal. You can go to jail for it. And especially drugs, right? Meth. And what is the pharmaceutical name for meth? Crystal methamphetamine. And but what we're talking about here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, isn't just meth. It's all those drugs that are illegal on Guam. And in the federal government, what is legal on Guam but illegal in the federal government? Marijuana. The fact that you know that worries me. He's absolutely right. The reason why our community says not to do these things is because it hurts you, it can kill you, especially meth, but more so, it causes you to act in a way that hurts other people. We know that people that are on drugs, they're the ones that are going into your yard at night, they're the ones that are going into your locker or your desks here and stealing what you have. Your phones, your computers, anything that they can get. And why is that?
Because their mind is reacting to drugs.
Because their mind, they become addicted. That's the word, addicted. It's stuff that you guys don't understand yet, but will understand as you get older. Once you get addicted to something, you start changing your behavior. Your parents may have taught you, don't take what's not yours, don't steal, but these drugs are known to make you do things. And why do you want a phone, a computer, your bikes, whatever? Because you want to sell it, because you become like a rat, a lab rat, that you need it in order to get your drug.
Yep.
That's how basic it is. You read in the newspaper every day, all those guys that are getting arrested and women getting arrested. They're getting arrested because they're stealing something, they're taking something that's not theirs. Do any of you know what the police say in those newspaper articles when they come up on a meth addict? How can they tell that you're a meth addict?
It's a thief.
That's one of them.
How you look? Your eyes.
You become dopey. Anyone know what dopey means? That means your teeth start falling out. You get another set of teeth now? Do any of you get another set of teeth?
No, only the fake ones.
That's right, only the fake ones. You don't. Okay, that's one thing that the police notice. But what is the more common thing that the police notice when they pull over the car?
What do you know?
They start to act like an animal. They start to scratch their face in front of the police officer. They start to dance in front of the police officer. They become delusional. They think that there's something that they're not. That's what happens when you take alcohol, drugs, things that change your mind. It changes your presence, your ability to be rational students, rational people. And it can happen to you guys here. Do you guys know what we're finding in the Attorney General's office with your students here? We're doing such a good job at the police department, at the AG's office, putting all these meth addicts, all these druggies in jail. The people that are selling them that, what happens when we put the users in jail?
They get more than high.
They don't get any money. They want your money. So who are they going to look to next when they can't get money?
Your cellmates.
Kids. All you guys in this room. And what do you think they're going to do first? Do you think they're going to sell it to you?
No. They're gonna threaten you.
They're going to give it to you. They're going to tell your friends that, hey, why don't I give you this and you can try it and see how you like it. The problem with these drugs is once you try it, and especially meth, you can't stop because you become like a lab rat. That your brain starts to say that I need this, or I'm not going to feel good, and I'm going to do whatever I can do to get it. Once you get to that place where you've given a free drug, that's when they're going to start to charge you. Okay? So realize that although you're all minors here, you have people of my age that are treating you like customers. And because we're putting meth addicts in jail, you see the prison, it's overcrowded now. Most of those people are meth addicts or affected by the choices they've made in their lives, by bad choices, taking drugs. Is it only meth that's illegal on Guam?
No. There's fentanyl, there's ice.
Again, too many answers, got to worry about that guy. But boys and girls also recognize, does anybody know what opioid is? When your parents are getting these prescriptions from the dentist or the doctor in your medicine cabinets and stuff, also realize that it's illegal to take those drugs in order to try to change your mind to feel good. And there is a large group of children and adults out there that abuse prescription drugs. Does anybody know the names of some famous people that have died because of overdoses? Michael Jackson is one of them. Some more. Do any of you guys, or probably your parents watch it, Friends? Matthew Perry?
Oh, yeah!
Do you know what's the first effect when you start to overdose? When you take too much of a drug.
When you take more than one,
You get dizzy, but what happens? What happens when you've taken too much drugs? You go to sleep. You start being so overwhelmed by the drug that you start losing consciousness. Does anybody know how Matthew Perry died?
No.
He lost consciousness, and then he went under the water in his swimming pool. His little, whatever they call it, gazebo or something. So recognize that what we're trying to say to you here, when you look at those photos that we have over there, meth can be in a crystal form or it can be in a powder form. So first thing that you do when you see your friends or anyone in your school or adult trying to give you something and say you should take it because you're going to feel good, that's your first red flag. And what you need to do is you need to tell an adult, tell the police officers, tell your parents. And if you have parents that are doing this, you need to tell your teachers, because there are so many kids. And Miss Deputy Mickens over here, every day she goes into court, and there's children that are being taken, you guys, are being taken away from their parents because their parents have been overwhelmed by drugs. They can no longer function. They can no longer take care of you. And if you guys know that or see your parents on it, the best thing you can do is turn them in so that you can save their lives. Yes.
What if we have someone like that, but we try to turn them in because that's the only person that cares for us?
That person will eventually be dead. So you need to save their life by turning them in. Does anybody know what meth eventually will do to you if you keep on taking it? You don't overdose on it, but you keep on taking it. What organ in your body will eventually fail?
Kidneys,
No, no.
your heart.
I heard it. Your heart. So, and does anybody know once you damage your heart, will your heart ever be 100% again?
No.
Absolutely not. So you've given one heart in life that throughout your entire life, your heart will keep pumping. You damage that organ, and it slowly loses its ability to pump. And you take the drugs, especially meth, you may stop at some point, but you will probably die a sooner life than you would otherwise. Maybe live to 80, 90 years old if you didn't take meth. You take meth, you're probably only going to be 60 to 70 years old before your heart eventually gives out. So, this is what we're talking about, girls and boys. Don't take meth. Look at the signs of what meth is about. People that act erratic, people that are doing things very differently. That's one of the first signs of a person on meth. They become delusional. They become unlike their normal selves. You need to save their lives by turning them in to teachers, adults, your parents, and especially when you see the virus, those people, the death dealers, the people that give you the meth, that give you any drug, whether it's heroin, cocaine, you name it, or prescription drugs from their parents' medicine cabinet, you need to stay away from it because you're being looked at as customers. And they want to get you addicted. They want you to give them money so that they can live off of your pain and suffering. Anybody have any questions in particular? No, sir. Okay, so we have a short amount of time, but we're here to help you at the AG's office. We're seeing it every day from your ages all the way up to your parents. So thank you guys for everything that for being here.
That about sets off our presentations for today, and hopefully everyone was listening to the general on his presentation. I'm going to go ahead and ask a few more questions. Again, I hope this is the biggest takeaway before we go home today. It's a Friday, it's a weekend, right? Be smart, don't start. Right? Be smart, don't start. Can I have everyone say that one more time? Be smart, don't start. All right, yes, very important. Tell your friends, be smart, be smart. All right, we're going to ask questions. I know there was a young lady here that they feel bad because my eyes didn't go far enough. So I'm going to stand over here so I'm going to make sure that I see it. Okay, so I'm going to ask one question. As the AG mentioned, how does using meth affect the body? Can you name an organ? Right.
Wow.
Give her a chance. Name an organ that is primarily affected by meth use. Say your name, stand up, say your name, and then give your answer.
Hi, my name is Yolani Kidichai, and one organ that meth affects is your heart.
Right. Yes. Affects your heart, and it permanently damages it, right? You can never go back to 100%, so you're better off never starting. I'm gonna ask one more question. What about this side? Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go on this side. I'm gonna ask a question over here. If everyone's paying attention. This one's a little shot in the dark, but I hope you guys use it as a learning opportunity because everyone in here is a minor, right? Yes. So, all right. So I'm gonna throw a question out there. Can a minor selling drugs like meth be charged as an adult? Yes or no? You know what? You've been the most knowledgeable person in the room. You've been very interactive with the general, so give me a shot, all right? I'm going to say your name and give us your answer. Can a minor selling drugs like meth be charged as an adult?
Diane Garcia, and they can't be charged in adult.
Yes, that is correct.
Alright, well, I have those two questions from the topics that the general presented, but I think we still have a few more gift bags to give away, so I'm just gonna throw a few more questions, just so that everyone gets a little chance to get an air question. Hopefully everyone was listening to the whole presentation from beginning to end, so I'm gonna ask a few more questions. I'm gonna go ahead and ask a question now, and first hand I see, I'm gonna go ahead and call on. Can anyone tell me, what is the name of the Attorney General of Guam? Okay, your hand is up, we're gonna give you a shot. What is the name of the Attorney General of Guam? It's not anywhere here, so hopefully you're getting it.
We're gonna send the name of the AG is Douglas.
All right, that's correct.
Douglas B. Merlin, I'm sure you guys know his name already, but I'm just gonna throw it out there and see if everyone is put it over here. Because I want to give everyone a chance. All right. You're ready? Okay. What is the name of our AG's office mascot? He's right there, so. Oh, he's Eagle Harry. Epic Eagle. It's not Eagle Harry, it's Epic Eagle. And then I have one more question. General mentioned it during his speech, right? He was talking about how he's the Attorney General. He was talking about what is an attorney, and then he talked about maybe something for you guys to know. Anybody in this room right now who is thinking about becoming a lawyer one day? Raise some hands. Anyone? It's a good career. You get to sue, you get to enforce the laws and defend victims. Anyone? Okay, so for the people who want to be lawyers in the room and ask you a question, General talked about this. How long does law school take? Okay, you did it right. How long does law school take? What's your name? And tell us, how long does law school take?
No. Your name?
My name is Rox Williams. Like 3 years, I think.
Is that correct, Mr. AG? Is it 3 years?
It is 3 years.
It's 3 years! Thank you very much, and Ms. Graduates, for welcoming us to your school campus. Presentations. But before you guys go back to your classrooms, we do have some giveaways, some stickers for you guys to take with you. You gotta put the boots over here. All right, thank you very much, everyone.
All right, let's give them all a round of applause. Great. Before we leave, and before you guys get up, I know you're curious to see what they have on the tables. We would like to thank everyone really for coming out today and visiting our students. It is extremely important. The topic they brought to you, you guys are going to be adults in a few years, and I'm sending you off to high school, right? And these laws will affect you. They affect you now, and you are going to be parents eventually. So we're trying to arm you with as much knowledge as we can, so when you become parents, you also know these laws, right? So we would like to thank our presenters. Mr. Tinosa is going to help me. Can we please get the Attorney General of Guam, Mr. Douglas Moylan, please come up? Can I get a photo of my iPad? Can we document life? Can we get a photo real quick?
Oh, you got it with him?
Thank you, sir. Ready? 1, The next one, Mr. Tinoso. Where are all of my certificates, sir? All right, we would also like to thank the Deputy Attorney General Juan Paul Alubat. Where's he at? Sir, can you take a photo? I think we should get one with all three too, and then the whole.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
So thank you, and finally, can we also get the Assistant Attorney General, Ron Sherrell, again? Please give a round of applause.
One more. 1. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so we don't have a lot of time. Teachers, if the students are interested, we have tables, they can come up and visit. We are going to start releasing in a few minutes. We got about 6 minutes. All right, so if you're interested, come and please visit.